Good morning, everyone, or whatever time it is for you. This is, I suppose, Danziger, and this is going to be my second atypical devlog. I think it's number 29 or something. I'm going to talk about three things. First, setting. Second, the like mechanics of the universe or lore, I guess. And third, mechanics in game. First up, setting wise, kind of like how Lord of the Rings is set in the past, supposedly, Tolkien translating stuff, or Dune is set in the future. My project is set also in our future, actually, specifically in our galaxy. It's not like Star Wars, galaxy far, far away. This is actually Milky Way. And that's actually it. That's all I'm going to reveal for number one. So, not the Earth, but somewhere in our galaxy. Second up, mechanics of the universe. It's I mean pretty much like us, except there's magic that humans, or the equivalent of humans, I guess, will be able to naturally use. And the reason for this is there's going to be, well, kind of like how dark matter isn't evenly distributed in the universe. Like density of dark matter in the Milky Way is something like 6 times 10 to the negative 22nd kilograms per meter cubed. But different galaxies, some have more dark matter, some have less dark matter. Similar to that, uh, different stars in the Milky Way will have different densities of what I call ether, kind of like what the Greeks used to believe. Light passed through a medium called some ubiquitous fluid-like substance called ether. There's going to be unevenly distributed ether in the Milky Way. And Sol, like our star, doesn't have much ether around it, but other stars do, and humans born on a in a location where there's a higher concentration of ether can naturally use ether. And what we're looking at here is these are the, I would say, 16 elements of ether, but there are a total of 18 damage types. And up top, you got the 8 matter elements. Primary ones are the ones in the corner. So fire is primary matter element. You got fire, air, water, and earth. And then between them are the secondary, which are kind of supposed to be like kind of a combination of them. So fire and air give you electric, air and water give you ice, water and earth give you organic, earth and fire give you inorganic. And some of these make more sense than others, but had to fit it somewhere. So these 8 up top are the matter elements. Matter itself isn't like an element, and I'll get more to that in a second, but it's still a damage type. Then on the bottom, you got the 8 corresponding energy elements. Gravity, light, psionic, and dark are the primaries. And between them, you have sonic, life, necrotic, and corrosion. Then down here, these are the all the technique names. So each element has 2 types of techniques associated with it. Every single one of them has a boring old straight up damage. So fire's damaging technique is named Foy, or currently I might have changed that. Electric's damaging technique is called Myo, and so on. The one exception is on life. It heals instead. And they also, I should mention my project, PSRO. The R is for reference, and every single tech name is a reference to something. So you might think, Earth. One of the tech names is TOF. What could I possibly be referencing? And so on. All right. Then the 4-letter words are they're non-damaging, and they do one of 4 things. They either are a buff, so here B is for buff, or a weaken. I would call it debuff, but that messes with the code. Get more to that in a second. So buff or debuff, and they either inflict a status effect or they cure a status effect. And in particular, if you have a look-see, the primary matter elements are buffs. So fire, air, water, earth are buffs. And the secondary matter, they inflict status effects. So like ice, for example, inflicts stun. And then it's kind of like the complement or opposite for the energy ones. So the primary energy are weakens. So gravity weakens strength, and so on. And the secondary energies cure status effects. And this will be, kind of important lore-wise, but also important mechanically because different characters will be able to use techniques for different elements. Zemi can use water, for example. So she'll have access to damaging water attacks. And the other tech she can use is a buff to mental. And Pesh is earth, so he'll have damaging earth techniques, and he'll be able to buff vitality, which buffs defense. And down here you could have your calendar. All the damage stuff is calculated in spreadsheet form here. Then related to this, oh yes. So I kind of went from topic 2 to topic 3 there. Topic 2, structure of the elements. Topic 3, game mechanics. Next for buffs. Buffs will be additive, just based on the user's mental. In fact, every technique is based on mental. There's another type of ability called skill, which is anything else, non-text. So for example, none of these are like instant kill effects, right? Those would all be covered under skills. The debuffs, so debuffs in games are really hit or miss. I'm going to make them guaranteed hits, but instead of additive, they'll be multiplicative. And a boss, for example, that'll have high defensive stats, you'll still be able to reduce its stats by a minimum of something like 5%. 5% is the current minimum, which will hopefully make buffs debuffs worthwhile, because otherwise you if your debuffs always miss, then you never use them. And hopefully they'll be meaningful enough to use in random encounters too. Same thing for status effects. They are I was thinking of making it either guaranteed or like a minimum 50% chance to use, because again, you run into the problems where debuffs are either too good or not worthwhile at all. Find the right balance, it'll be a work in progress. Then last up for the spreadsheet, boring spreadsheet stuff, racials. And the way this works is you have each race, I suppose you'd call it, has different numbers associated with the elements. Androids, for example, are resistant to, so the matter, these are damage types. Each element has a damage type, but also matter and energy have their damage types. So androids, for example, they are resistant to matter damage, which would be something like, someone picks up a sword, they attack, and but it's not like enchanted or anything, just regular damage. That'd be matter. Energy would be like you pick up a laser gun, no special enchantments, no particular, particular element associated with it. That'd be energy damage. So androids, for example, the 0.5 means you multiply the damage at a certain point of the formula by 0.5, so they resist it. The 2 for electric would be they're weak to electric, so they take more or less double damage, but the formula isn't like super straightforward. And with that said, I'll tab over to the game. So the way it actually looks in code is like so. Here at this point, enemy stats, I only have 2, the Jackalope and the Larvac. And you can see whether or not they deal a certain element of damage is set to true or false. So Larvac material attack is true. Their attacks deal, at least currently, the matter or material damage type. And this is strictly true or false. Zeros or ones. It's not a scale. The defense, however, it's going to be either -1 for absorb, 0 for immune, 0.5 for resistant, 1 for normal, or 2 to weak. So you can see, looking at the Larvacs, they are weak. They take double damage from fire, and they take double damage from water, and so on. And that is it for this video. Have a good one.